However, Howie Mandel was left emotionally devastated and the public startled by a terrible occurrence that occurred in Las Vegas, right when things appeared to be getting back to normal. There was no act, joke, or marketing stunt involved. It was so genuine this time. An innocent evening out with his wife, Terry, quickly devolved into a horrific accident that caused him and Terry to lose their composure and shed tears. Even Howie himself has never spoken with such unfiltered intensity. Witnesses were dumbfounded. For what reason was his wife discovered in a bloody pool? What transpired behind the closed door of that Las Vegas hotel? You might perceive this married pair differently if you learn the truth about the shocking accident. From his humble beginnings as a performer in Canada to his meteoric rise to fame in the United States is truly an inspiring story of perseverance and triumph. In his early years, Mandel showed signs of becoming the dynamic and imaginative figure he would become after being born on November 29, 1955, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Mandel, with his boundless enthusiasm, sharp wit, and ability to switch gears, has been one of the most iconic figures in show business for decades. On a deeper level, Mandel's career is a narrative of perseverance, growth, and candor about individual struggles. It is not just a comedic or charismatic performance. From 1982 until 1988, Mandel was a mainstay on American television as Dr. Wayne Fiscus on the medical drama St. Elsewhere. This role catapulted Mandel to stardom in the early 1980s. With his outstanding performance, Mandel was able to establish himself as a leading man in dramatic television, and the program went on to become a critical hit because to its intricate plot and stellar ensemble cast. This early performance solidified Mandel's reputation as a serious and versatile actor who could manage both comedic and dramatic moments, even if he would thereafter be linked to comedy and game shows. Mandel displayed not just his acting chops, but also his singing abilities in animated features. In the cult classic film Gremlins, he voiced the role of the adorable monster Gizmo. 1984, and once again in 1990's Gremlins 2. The part launched his career in voice acting and animated features, which he has been involved with for many years and helped him establish a strong rapport with viewers of all ages. Another aspect of his creative powers was his ability to give characters life simply by utilizing his voice. Mandel created, voiced, and produced the animated series Bobby's World from 1990 to 1998, combining his humorous talents with his voice expertise. The show, which followed a little kid named Bobby as he lived out his wildest dreams, was a huge success with viewers of all ages. The show's success was a testament to Mandel's talent for engaging both younger and older listeners. Mandel's life and humor were reflected in Bobby's World, making it more than just a cartoon. His delivery was genuine and accessible. During this time, Mandel proved to be a formidable producer and creator, equally at home behind the scenes as he was on stage. Following his success in animation, Mandel made the transition to daytime television in 1998 and 1999 with the chat show The Howie Mandel Show. The event may have been brief, but it gave Mandel another chance to showcase his humorous charm and reach a wider audience. Despite the short run, the show was an example of his willingness to try new things in the entertainment industry in his pursuit of relevance and evolution. For Mandel, 2005 was a watershed moment in his career as host of Deal or No Deal on NBC. Rapid popularity swept over the high-stakes game show, bringing Mandela back into the spotlight in the entertainment industry. Do business or go home. His hosting style, which combined warmth, comedy, and tension, was well received by viewers all around the globe. With the show's success, Mandel gained new followers, and his distinctive personality as host became instantly recognizable. During this time, Mandel made a remarkable return, demonstrating that it is possible to reinvent oneself even after a long and fruitful career. Mandel has been a judge on America's Got Talent since 2006 and has been doing so ever since. Both viewers and his colleagues judges praised his performance on the show, which he anchored with a blend of genuine empathy and hilarious timing. Mandel has become a household name in the United States because to AGT, his public presence betrays a kinder, more encouraging side as he frequently incorporates personal stories and encouraging thoughts into his criticism to participants. His continuous appearances on the show are evidence of his popularity and ability to adapt to the ever-changing format. Mandel also did something that most famous people don't do that year. He disclosed his own battles with mental illness. His struggles with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, which he came clean about in 2006, had a significant impact on his daily life. This open and honest admission came at a period when people were less likely to talk openly about mental health. Many were encouraged to get therapy or speak out about their own experiences with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, after reading Mandel's candidness, which contributed to removing the stigma associated with the disorder. In his 2008 memoir, Here's the Deal, Don't Touch Me, Mandel elaborated on this part of his life. The book detailed his professional and personal journeys while delving more into his struggles with obsessive-compulsive disorder and attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder. The memoir was funny and instructive, just like his other works, making these circumstances realities more apparent. Once again, Mandel's work showcased his dedication to utilizing his platform for advocacy and awareness, channeling his own hardships into a wellspring of encouragement and strength for others around him. In the years that ensued, the trend persisted. Deal or No Deal, Mandel's 2018 to 2022 CNBC hosting return, was the show that had rekindled his career. At the same time, he debuted his podcast Howie Mandel Does Stuff, where he and a variety of guests discussed a wide range of subjects in an informal and frequently humorous atmosphere. The podcast provided listeners with a closer look at Mandel's life, hobbies, and humor. The podcast was amusing and informative thanks to Mandel's charismatic delivery, which he used to talk about anything from health to show business. Mandel also dabbled in live performing alongside these endeavors. From 2021 to 2023, he was the featured performer at a residency show in Sin City, where he entertained audiences with an intimate and thrilling kind of stand-up comedy. Bullshed, a game show on Netflix, was another appearance of his, where he combined quiz show aspects with his distinctive comic timing. The success of these endeavors proved his adaptability and continued applicability in the dynamic entertainment industry. Again shocking audiences in 2023, Mandel became Rock Lobster with The Disguised Singer. His stage antics and eccentric wardrobe choice demonstrated his openness to playing roles that were both humorous and offbeat, much to the enjoyment of the audience. Mandel, who never fails to shock, took advantage of the situation to perform in a totally new style, further solidifying his image as a performer who is both surprising and full of fun. In 2024 and 2025, Mandel kept his audience engaged with his podcast and appearances in web segments that went viral. His engagement on social media shows that he's paying attention to the changing landscape of entertainment consumption and wants to keep in touch with followers of all ages. Mandel, who has been working in the field for almost 40 years, is still full of life, adaptability, honesty, and energy. The most controversial times in Howie Mandel's career. Howie Mandel has had a diverse and successful career, moving easily between scripted drama, animation, game shows, and digital platforms. A heritage of humor, perseverance, and candor about mental health has contributed to his meteoric climb to the top of the entertainment world. However, Mandel's path hasn't been devoid of obstacles, as is the case with many prominent persons. Fans, reviewers, and even his fellow performers have all taken issue with certain events that have followed him around in recent years. The public's perception of Mandel and his capacity to weather scrutiny have been put to the test by these scandals, which have plagued him for decades. During a live taping of America's Got Talent in 2015, there was a well-publicized controversy. Many thought Mandel's comment about a competitor quite insulting, despite his reputation for impromptu and even edgy comedy. There was an instant criticism to his quip about how the performance made bulimia entertaining. Many viewers felt the comment was harmful and inappropriate, especially those who had experienced eating disorders firsthand. A public apology from Mandel followed quickly. In it, he admitted he had crossed a boundary and criticized his own statements as being foolish. The incident highlighted the terrible impact that casual remarks, even when intended as laughs, may have, particularly when shared with millions of people. Now we're in the year 2023, and Mandel is in trouble once again. This time, it wasn't for an impromptu remark, but rather for the people he gave a platform to. Reality TV personality Tom Sandoval was interviewed by Mandel on his podcast, which was extensively listened to and watched. Sandoval was involved in a cheating controversy. Not only did the interview's timing irritate some, but so did Mandel's apparent defense of Sandoval. Those who listened to Mandel claimed that he was overly sympathetic and lacked insight into the incident. A lot of people thought the discussion was ignorant and tone-deaf because it didn't critically engage with anything. The approach taken by Mandel has sparked discussions over the duties of celebrity interviewers during an era when public figures are anticipated to exercise greater responsibility and sensitivity when using their platforms. The 2025 podcast edition featuring comedian Bill Burr was perhaps even more divisive. The conversation that started off as a casual chat soon turned into something very different. On broadcast, Mandel shocked Burr by revealing the results of a DNA test that involved artist Billy Corgan. During the taping, Burr, who was clearly taken aback and enraged, referred to Mandel as a Hollywood whore. Boundaries in media and entertainment were a hot topic after the confrontation made news. Mandel eventually apologized, saying he had misjudged the emotional depth of the situation and that the stunt had crossed the line. In a podcast style that combines humor with honest storytelling, this incident highlighted the delicate balance between entertainment and exploitation. The rise of social media has further magnified Mandel's gaffes. As a joke, he uploaded a TikTok video in 2022 that had a violent medical image. Outrage at the post came quickly. Some users found it funny, while others found it scary or indecent. In response to the overwhelming amount of hate mail, Mandel took down the video and temporarily suspended posting. His attempt at humor clearly backfired with a big portion of his audience, even though he didn't formally apologize at the time. Additionally, it brought attention to the dangers that celebrities encounter when they upload unfiltered content to social networking sites that can instantly reach millions of people. A number of Mandel's scandals date back more than a decade. A prank that occurred on an episode of his show in 2010 or so led to a lawsuit against him. A restaurant allegedly suffered substantial property damage as a result of the stunt, which prompted legal action. Although the specifics of the complaint were not made public, it did add to the mounting storyline of Mandel occasionally crossing the line between good judgment and comedy. Despite the case's final demise from public view, it exemplified Mandel's ongoing struggle between his natural tendency for comedy and the standards of professional behavior. Another area where Mandel has come under fire is for his judging duties on America's Got Talent. Many people felt that he was too severe with the younger talents and the senior finalists between 2021 and 2023. The show's viewers and admirers were dissatisfied with the criticism they felt was unnecessary. His remarks, they said, were heartless, especially because the competitors are in a very precarious position. Some spoke out in Mandel's defense, praising his impeccable character and extensive background. The critique did contribute to a trend, though, that seemed to indicate a difference between Mandel's goals and the way his audience occasionally took him. A royalty dispute involving Canadian humor was another topic that garnered notice, and Mandel was involved. SiriusXM's Canadian comedy channel underwent significant adjustments in 2019 that significantly curtailed the airing of locally produced content. Many Canadian comedians depended on royalties from those plays. Therefore, this shift had a major impact on their finances. Mandel took heat for not doing more to defend the rights of local artists as someone involved with the channel's programming decisions. He was criticized for not using his power as a major Canadian musician to support local artists, but rather to agree with a shift that hurt them. Those impacted by the incident heard Mandel's silence loud and clear, even though he did not publicly address it, supporting Howie Mandel on his endeavors. Though not everyone is familiar with her name, Terry Mandel has had a consistent and significant impact on the entertainment industry, especially through her support of her husband, Howie Mandel. Unlike most people, Terry isn't interested in making headlines or appearing in public. One characterized by calm resiliency, strategic thinking, and steadfast dedication. Her life narrative unveils a lot more than just being the wife of a comedian and TV star, though that may be how many people know her. She has a long and successful career in the spotlight, but she herself is often just outside of it. The narrative is loaded with personal ambition, enduring love, and vital decisions. Terry Mandel's impact has been more pervasive than most people think, spanning from Toronto classrooms to the making of comedy specials and the inner workings of talent agencies. Terry Mandel came into this world in a city that would later become a cultural and entertainment mecca, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on August 26, 1955. Influential figures in entertainment have long been produced in Toronto, thanks to its diverse population and strong artistic scene. Terry, however, would remain a major figure in that realm, albeit in the background. She was responsible and level-headed from a young age on. As she balanced her family life with her career aspirations, these skills became increasingly important. The unlikely beginning of Terry's relationship with Howie Mandel occurred at a young age. They first met in middle school and ended up crossing paths again in high school, despite the fact that their lives took separate paths at the time. A more profound bond was established at that location, with a foundation of common ground, laughter, and understanding that would pave the way for an everlasting connection. They were still relatively unknown to the public when their budding romance took root, but they were already building the resilience that would get them through the years of stardom, family, and business. Her school background was indicative of the realistic and practical attitude that would characterize her contributions to her family and career. Terry was a student at the prestigious Toronto institution William Lyon Mackenzie Collegiate Institute. Her ability to lead clearly and her analytical approach to problems made her stand out, rather than her theatrics. Success was always a factor in her life, so she decided to get a degree in business, which suited her aptitude for strategy and planning. Abilities that would be crucial when she joined Howie in the entertainment industry. Terry Mandel wed Howie Mandel on March 16, 1980. This was the beginning of more than just their married life. It was also the official commencement of a relationship that would encompass both their personal and professional lives. Terry was present, not in the limelight, but as an important cog in Howie's comedic wheel, as his career took off thanks to stand-up performances and TV appearances. She had no desire for stardom or admiration. Her attention was instead directed towards ways in which she could contribute to the long-term prosperity of her family, her husband, and their joint business ventures. With 1985's Howie Mandel, live from Carnegie Hall, she made her television production debut. The program put the spotlight on Howie's acting skills, but Terry's work behind the scenes was equally crucial. Terry proved his mettle as a manager, coordinator, and executor of high-stakes entertainment events by pulling off this massive event. She proved she was more than just a doting wife at this pivotal moment in her career. She could hold her own as a producer and had a good sense of what crowds responded to in live performances. Thanks to Howie's burgeoning profession and the couple's combined business endeavors, the 1980s were a hectic decade for the Mandels. The two became inseparable as business partners after co-founding the Abstract Talent Agency. Terry was able to put her business degree to good use while she ran the agency. In contrast to Howie's hands-on experience and entertainment industry connections, Terry was in charge of the agency's financial operations, including monitoring contracts, negotiating terms, and providing strategic direction. The equilibrium was fluid. Terry in charge of behind-the-scenes operations and Howie in the spotlight. At the same time, Terry was fully devoted to starting a family of their own. In 1984, Jackie was born, and in 1989, Alex and Riley were born. The unpredictable nature of travel, timetables, and demands makes it particularly difficult for entertainment industry mothers to juggle parenthood and company management. Still, Terry did it with extraordinary composure. She opted for a more low-key, private life, avoiding the spotlight of fame and keeping her private affairs out of the media. She was nonetheless a formidable force just because she preferred to stay out of the spotlight. That her priorities were very clear was a huge relief. Even if Howie's profession changed and progressed throughout the years, Terry's impact remained constant. Actually, by the turn of the millennium, she had become even more influential in the big decisions that shaped his public image. Deal or No Deal, a new game show on NBC, offered Howie the role of host, which was a major turning point in his life. Howie was hesitant at first. He wondered if it was a good decision and if people would like it. However, Terry noticed something about the opportunity that Howie failed to notice at first. She was sure that his charisma and sense of humor would work well as hosts, so she urged him to take the job. Howie's life was spared by Mandel's ultimatum. It is well documented that Terry Mandel had an impact on her husband's professional success. Her unwavering support and guidance have been vital to Howie Mandel's remarkable career in show business, from pushing him to seize big opportunities to co-running their talent agency. Beyond their status as a power couple in the public eye, the Mandels have been through storms that have tested their relationship to its very core. A deeply personal and significant obstacle they encountered was Howie's battle with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, an imperceptible but tenacious ailment that infiltrated their daily lives and tested the strength of their most intimate relationships. While Howie Mandel's career was reviving in 2006, thanks in large part to his hosting duties on the popular game show Deal or No Deal, his personal conflicts started to boil over. Despite his long history of obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, it had remained untreated and undetected, leading to its worsening. From the outside looking in, Howie's career may have appeared to be taking off. The impact on his private life, particularly his family and marriage, was becoming more difficult to conceal, though. Fear of germs and contamination drove Howie's habits, which started to impact even the most mundane aspects of home life. He has been very forthright in interviews about the impact his compulsions had on his family. His family was subject to his insistence that they sterilize all they came into contact with. He skillfully evaded any items that were offered to him. He would discard any toy that fell on the floor. What appeared to be eccentric behaviors or excessive cautionary parenting to those on the outside were actually signs of a mental illness that was becoming increasingly controlling his life. These actions had an impact on more than simply Howie. All members of his family were affected. Despite her love and support, Terry Mandel had no choice but to see her husband's downward fall into increasingly isolating behaviors. The compulsions, she saw, were turning their home into an inflexible, terrifying, and unsustainable fortress. Their kids were dragged into a world where worry, cleanliness, and avoidance were the norm. At that moment, Terry faced one of her life's most challenging decisions. An unambiguous ultimatum was presented to Howie by her. He needed to see a doctor, or she would be forced to end the marriage. She did not speak these things out of spite or fury. Instead, she was driven by love, tiredness, and an overwhelming need to protect her children and herself.